I'm deeply grateful you're here. What I'm about to share isn't just another idea. It could be the quiet shift that helps you see your life more clearly, awaken your true nature, and begin walking a path toward peace and fulfillment. You see, the early hours of the morning are more than just a routine. They're sacred. Like the still surface of a pond before the winds rise, our mind in the morning is calm, open, and ready to be shaped. But what if I told you that changing just a few words, the ones you whisper to yourself when the world is still asleep, could change the course of your day, your choices, and even the suffering you carry? No elaborate rituals, no lofty sermons, just simple phrases, born from awareness, grounded in truth, that can gently realign your mind with the Dharma, the path that leads away from confusion and toward liberation. The Buddha once said, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become." In today's video, I'll share with you 15 morning reflections rooted in mindfulness, compassion, and clarity. Words that can help you walk through each day with intention, equanimity, and joy. Watch until the end. Don't skip any. And in the comments, write this intention. I choose to live with awareness. If your heart is ready, let us begin. Number 1. Today is a new beginning. Today is not just another day. It's a new arising. When the morning light gently touches your face, it's not simply the return of the sun. It is a sacred moment, a reminder from the universe that you've been given another opportunity to walk the path with mindfulness. Not everyone is granted this moment. The Buddha taught that rare is it to be born as a human being, and rarer still to hear the Dharma. So when you wake, do so with gratitude, not because everything is perfect, but because you have the chance to start again. This isn't just a comforting thought, it's the doorway to liberation. Each breath you take now is fresh, untouched by the past. In the Dharma, we learn that clinging to what has already passed is a source of suffering. Letting go is not weakness, it is wisdom. The past only binds us when we refuse to release it. Imagine this. Yesterday, you spoke harshly to someone you love. You fell asleep with heaviness in your heart. But today, the sky has turned again. You have the power to step out of that cycle. You can choose to speak with kindness, to offer an apology, or simply to meet them with gentleness. This is right action, the kind of effort that aligns you with the path to peace. Every morning is like a blank mandala, waiting to be created with care and presence. You are not the person you were yesterday. You are not your anger, your mistake, or your fear. You are the awareness that sees it all and chooses differently. And know this, a new beginning does not require perfection. It begins with something small, a single breath, a sip of water, a whispered vow to be more awake than you were yesterday. Even the Buddha's journey to enlightenment began with a quiet moment under a tree, deciding to sit and truly see. So, let this be your quiet vow. I will walk this day with awareness. I will meet it with kindness. I will begin again. Because in Buddhism, every moment is a chance to be reborn, not into a new body, but into a wiser self. Number 2, I have the ability to awaken my true potential. It's easy to get lost in doubt. When life doesn't unfold the way we hoped, or when we measure ourselves against others, we start asking, am I enough? Or, is this path really for me? I understand that place. I've walked through it myself. But let me gently remind you of something deeper. You carry the seed of greatness, not because someone else planted it, but because it has always existed within you. It is your true nature, your Buddha nature, pure, radiant, and waiting to be realized. In Buddhism, we believe that each being holds within them the potential for awakening. No matter your past mistakes, no matter how many times you've been overlooked or underestimated, none of that defines your essence. What matters is your willingness to wake up, to keep walking the path with mindfulness, and to act with compassion and clarity. You've already overcome so much, through storms of confusion, through the fires of disappointment, and if you've endured suffering with strength once, you can do so again and again. This is what we call viriya, right effort, the steady, unwavering energy to keep moving forward with purpose. The Buddha taught, as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, so the wise are not moved by praise or blame. Your greatness doesn't come from noise or recognition. It comes from steadiness, day by day, moment by moment, like drops of water filling a jar. Let me share a real story of that spirit. A young woman once sought guidance from a Zen teacher. She had failed in many pursuits and believed she had nothing left to offer. The master gave her a cup of tea and said, "You are like this cup, already full of thoughts about what you cannot do. Empty it. Begin again." A path opens only when we are willing to take the first step with humility. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to start early. You only need to start with right intention, samma sankappa, with courage and with faith in your path. So tomorrow morning, as you wash your face and see your reflection, pause, look into your own eyes and whisper, "Within me lies the potential to awaken. I am ready to walk this path with courage and kindness." And once that belief is alive, the next step becomes simple. Practice. Action guided by awareness. This is how we turn inner potential into awakened life. Stay with me, because what comes next will help you turn that intention into daily practice. Number 3, today I will practice right action. I know that feeling, that quiet temptation to delay, to wait until everything aligns perfectly, until you're more confident, less anxious, more prepared. But the truth is, that perfect moment you're waiting for, it doesn't exist. It's a mirage, a subtle illusion created by the restless mind, tanha, pulling you further from the present moment where your power truly lives. In the Dharma, the only reality is now, this very breath, this very choice. When we cling to the idea of a better time, we let the present slip through our fingers like sand. But when we act with mindfulness, even a single step becomes a doorway to transformation. The Buddha taught, "An idea that is developed and put into action is more important than an idea that exists only as an idea." Wisdom without practice is like a lamp that is never lit. And your life, your purpose, your freedom, it all begins with action. Not grand, flashy action, but gentle, honest effort, what the Noble Eightfold Path calls right action, samma kammanta. That means acting from intention, from compassion, from awareness, not from fear or delay. Consider this. The Bodhisattva never waits until all conditions are perfect before choosing to help others. They act with what they have, from where they are, even if the path ahead is uncertain. They know that every moment is an opportunity to water the seeds of awakening, not someday, but today. And think of this simple story from the Zen tradition. A student once asked the master, "When is the best time to begin the journey?" The master replied, "Before you are ready." That is the heart of the teaching. You don't need certainty. You need willingness. You don't need a flawless plan to begin walking your path. Just one mindful step, again and again. And that's how we shift our lives, not with instant success, but with quiet persistence, like a river carving through stone. So each morning, before the day pulls you in every direction, return to this truth. Today, I will act with intention. I will not wait for perfect conditions. Every mindful step I take today is part of my journey toward awakening. Let this be your vow, not to rush, not to force, but to walk with courage and clarity, one breath, one step at a time. Number 4, I am present, mindful, and at peace with whatever arises. This morning, you open your eyes and feel the weight of the day ahead. A long to-do list, a conversation you've been avoiding, an uncertain outcome looming in the background. Your chest tightens. a quiet question arises. Can I really carry all this? In that moment, don't rush, don't resist, just breathe. Sit for a moment in stillness and gently remind yourself, I am present. I meet this day with awareness and peace. The Buddha never promised a life without challenges. What he offered was a path to meet each moment with clarity and compassion. Some days feel effortless, like wind at your back. Others are tangled with delays, frustrations, and inner storms. But in every moment, pleasant or painful, you carry something far more powerful than control: mindful presence. You don't need to grasp for certainty or push discomfort away. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises not from events themselves, but from our craving for things to be different. Today's affirmation isn't about forcing strength. It's about remembering the strength that comes from letting go. As the Dhammapada says, all that we are is the result of what we have thought. The mind is everything. What we think, we become. So, when uncertainty appears or anxiety whispers, pause. Ground yourself in the present. You don't need to resolve everything at once. Just meet this moment fully, without fear, without fleeing. That's the essence of equanimity, upekkha, a calm mind in the midst of life's waves. You faced difficult days before. You met them not by force, but by presence, by not turning away. And that same inner refuge is with you now. Not because you control the world, but because you no longer need to. You have mindfulness, you have compassion, you have peace. These are your companions on this path. Confidence is not shouting. It's the quiet truth that says, no matter what arises, I will meet it with clarity. And today, your first mindful step begins with the breath and the knowing. I am aware, I am grounded, I am enough. If you've ever faced a day where chaos knocked, but you responded with calm, share your story in the comments. I returned to myself. Because maybe your moment of peace is exactly what someone else needs to remember today. Number 5. I bow with gratitude for my life, my breath, and this precious human opportunity. Each morning, before the mind races ahead, take a single breath and pause. You have awakened. You are breathing. The sky, no matter how cloudy, is still above you. And in that awareness lies the first quiet truth. This life is a rare and sacred gift. Gratitude in Buddhism is not something reserved for peaceful moments. It is a discipline of the heart, practiced most meaningfully when life feels unsteady. It is in the days of discomfort, when the world feels cold or heavy, that gratitude becomes a light from within. The Buddha taught that being born as a human with the ability to reflect and choose the Dharma is exceedingly rare, like a blind turtle surfacing once every 100 years through a wooden yoke floating in the vast ocean. You have that chance, right now. Your health, even if imperfect, is still a vessel for practice. Can you walk? Can you see? Can you hear the voice of a loved one? Then even in the ordinary, there is cause for deep appreciation. Your loved ones too are part of your karmic path. Their care, their presence, even their absence are mirrors in which you grow. Not all beings have someone to turn to when suffering comes, and opportunity, no matter how modest, is a blessing many no longer receive. The very fact that you can still choose your next thought, your next act of kindness, is a door to awakening. Buddhist monks often reflect on impermanence at dawn. Many have not woken today, but I have. Thus, I must use this life wisely. There's a Zen story of a man fleeing from a tiger. He clings to a vine over a cliff, with danger above and death below. In that moment, he sees a single wild strawberry growing beside him. He plucks it, tastes it, and says, "How sweet it is." That is the spirit of true gratitude, present, awakened, and rooted in what is, not what is missing. So, each morning, whether the sky breaks in gold or weeps in grey, bow gently in your heart and whisper, I am thankful for this breath, for those who walk beside me, and for the chance to keep walking this path. Gratitude doesn't deny suffering, but it transforms it, giving us the clarity to appreciate, the mindfulness to endure, and the joy to continue. Number 6. I do not fear falling, for it is through falling that I awaken. There was a time when what held me back wasn't a lack of talent or opportunity. It was something quieter, deeper, the fear of falling short. I hesitated to begin a new project, not because I couldn't do it, but because I was afraid of doing it imperfectly. I let chances pass me by, not because I wasn't capable, but because I doubted my worth. And then, after so many missed paths, I finally paused and asked, what is it I'm really afraid of losing? And the answer was nothing permanent, nothing real. In the teachings of the Buddha, we are reminded, all things are impermanent. Success, failure, gain, loss. When we cling to outcomes, fear grows. But when we release attachment, we find freedom. Failure is not the end. It's a moment of learning, a moment of recalibration. Like a wave that recedes before it surges again, falling is part of the rhythm of growth. We live in a world that trains us to fear mistakes. But in the Dharma, we are taught to observe them, learn from them, and move forward without clinging. Even the Buddha himself faced countless doubts, temptations, and inner struggles before his awakening beneath the Bodhi tree. So why fear the stumble? Why dread the moment we fall? My first painful lesson came when a heartfelt effort collapsed. A project I poured everything into vanished. Yet, in that silence, in that collapse, came insights no success had ever shown me. The patience to endure, the humility to listen, the wisdom to begin again. The Buddha said, "To fall and rise again is the mark of the practitioner." We are not here to be perfect. We are here to wake up. There is no divine punishment in failure, only the karmic unfolding of our actions and the chance to respond with awareness. What seems like a setback may be a gate, redirecting you to a path more aligned with who you are meant to become. The spiritual path does not promise certainty, it promises transformation. And often, it is through our missteps that we learn to walk with mindfulness and intention. So now, I no longer fear falling. I welcome it as part of the unfolding. Each misstep is a bell of awareness. Each failure is a teacher in disguise. Every morning, I remind myself, I walk the path, not in fear of falling, but in trust that even the fall is part of the journey toward awakening. And perhaps you can whisper the same today. I release the fear of failure, because nothing real can be lost, and every step brings me closer to freedom. 7. I will face today with a positive attitude. Number 7. Today, I choose to walk with a peaceful mind and an open heart. In ancient times, a Zen master was falsely accused and imprisoned. Day after day, inside a cold and silent cell, he sat with nothing but his breath and the walls around him. And yet, when asked how he endured the injustice, he simply replied, "No one can imprison the mind that is free." He didn't deny the pain of confinement. He didn't pretend it didn't hurt, but he chose not to let his circumstances dictate the state of his heart. You may not be sitting behind iron bars, but in today's world, we all experience our own invisible prisons. The weight of expectations, the stress of uncertainty, the noise of endless opinions and bad news. In those moments, your state of mind becomes your true refuge or your true suffering. Each morning, we are offered a choice: to meet the world with bitterness and resistance, or with mindfulness, compassion, and peace. This choice is the beginning of freedom. In Buddhism, the principle of right intention teaches us to act and think with clarity, goodwill, and non-harming. That means, no matter what the day brings, we can choose to respond, not from fear or anger, but from wisdom and love. A peaceful attitude doesn't mean we ignore suffering. It means we see it clearly, and choose not to multiply it through aversion and despair. You might not control what arises today, a harsh word, a sudden setback, an unwelcome surprise, but you can always decide how you show up to it. Choosing a calm, kind mindset is not weakness, it's strength. It's the strength to keep your heart open when the world feels closed. It's the courage to breathe deeply when the winds of life blow hard. And what's beautiful is this: when you practice this inner peace, others feel it too. Your serenity becomes a mirror for others to reflect on their own suffering. Your stillness becomes a light in someone else's storm. So this morning, before the noise of the world reaches your ears, take one breath and remind yourself, today, I will walk with awareness. I will meet the day, not with resistance, but with presence and peace. And I want to pause for a moment to thank you for being here, really being here. It means you are choosing to walk the inner path, to rebuild your life from the inside out, to become a source of steadiness, not only for yourself, but for those who need it. Thank you for staying with me this far. What comes next will take us even deeper into the heart of this practice. Let's keep walking. Number 8, I will offer myself loving kindness today. This morning, as the sun rises once more, let this be your first vow. Today, I will offer myself loving kindness. We often speak of kindness as something we give to others, a smile, a gentle word, a helping hand. But rarely do we extend the same warmth inward toward the person who needs it most, ourselves. In Buddhism, we call this metta, unconditional loving kindness. It is a boundless, heartfelt wish for all beings to be happy, safe, and at peace. And that wish must begin within. To treat yourself with metta means to release the sharp edges of self-judgment, to see your mistakes not as evidence of failure, but as part of your unfolding path toward awakening. Yet how often do we do the opposite? One forgotten task, one misstep, and we let loose a storm of criticism. I should have known better. I'm not good enough. Words we'd never say to a friend. We whisper cruelly to ourselves. But here's the truth. No being blossoms under harshness. Growth requires warmth, and your inner journey requires tenderness, not punishment. The Buddha taught, you, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection, not because you are perfect, but because you are human, learning, and worthy. So when you fall short of your intentions, maybe you skipped your morning meditation or lost your temper, don't respond with shame. Respond with mindfulness. This too is part of the path. I see it, I accept it, and I begin again. Even small acts of self-kindness are powerful. Pausing for rest when you're weary, saying no when your heart is overwhelmed, sitting in silence when your spirit needs peace. These are not signs of weakness. They are sacred acts of remembering that you are worthy of care, just as you are. So let this be your morning truth. I will treat myself with kindness because I am a living being walking the path of awakening. I am not perfect, but I am present. I am learning, and I am enough. You deserve your own compassion, not just at your best, but especially in your most fragile human moments. Number 9, I am the guardian of my own joy. I am the guardian of my own joy. Many of us grow up believing that happiness is something to be found outside ourselves, through success, possessions, relationships, or some future event that will finally make us complete. But as the years pass, we may acquire some of these things, only to find that true happiness slips through our fingers like water. It never stays for long. Why is this? Because we have entrusted our peace to conditions beyond our control. In Buddhism, we learn that lasting happiness, sukha, arises not from external things, but from how we cultivate our mind and heart. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from craving and attachment, and freedom from suffering comes from releasing these clinging tendencies. In other words, joy is not something to chase or grasp. It is something to nurture within through mindful presence and wisdom. We cannot always change what happens around us, but we can choose how we respond. Our mind is the source of all experience. Consider the story of a woman who faced great hardships, loss, loneliness, uncertainty, but instead of surrendering, she turned inward. Each day, she paused to recognize the small blessings around her, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of birdsong, the taste of a simple meal. Gradually, her heart opened, and happiness took root, not from outside, but from a deep well within. This is the essence of right effort on the Buddhist path, cultivating wholesome states of mind that bring peace and joy. So every morning, when I look into the mirror and say, I am the guardian of my own joy, I am choosing to live with intention, not passivity. I do not blame circumstances or others for my peace. I do not wait for the world to align perfectly before I can smile. Happiness is not a prize won, but a garden tended, one moment at a time, one breath at a time. So today, ask yourself, am I ready to nurture this joy within? If your answer is yes, then say it aloud. I choose to be the guardian of my own joy. And if you feel called, share below. What simple thing today reminded you of your own inner peace? Number 10. I am the master of my mind and emotions. I am the master of my mind and emotions. Life is full of unexpected moments, some gentle, others challenging. A harsh word, a judgmental glance, an unforeseen obstacle, or even a frustrating delay can easily disturb the peace within. But the truth is, these external events only disturb us if we give them permission to do so. In Buddhism, we recognize that while we cannot always control what happens outside, we have full power over how we hold and respond to these experiences in our mind. The Buddha taught that the mind is like a garden. If left untended, weeds of anger, fear, and confusion can grow. But with mindfulness, sati, and equanimity, upekkha, we cultivate calmness and clarity. Imagine walking along your path and someone hurls angry words your way. Your heart may race and tension may arise, but by pausing to breathe and observe the feelings without immediate reaction, you reclaim your inner space. You choose not to hand over control of your peace to the stranger or the moment. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions or denying their presence. Instead, it means watching them with gentle awareness, understanding their nature, and responding with wisdom rather than impulse. You may notice anger arise, yet you greet it with calm acceptance rather than letting it drive your actions. You may feel disappointment, but choose compassion and insight over complaint. Each morning, when you remind yourself, I am the master of my mind and emotions, you affirm your capacity to cultivate inner peace regardless of outer chaos. No situation or person can unsettle you unless you give them that power. The path of mindfulness teaches that peace arises not by avoiding life's storms, but by learning to hold the steady center within. Say it now with intention. I am the master of my mind and emotions. Today, I choose peace, clarity, and strength. Number 11. I am worthy of joy and liberation. I am worthy of joy and liberation. There is a profound truth that many overlook. Our inherent worthiness to experience happiness and freedom just as we are, without conditions or achievement. From early on, we often believe that happiness must be earned through struggle, sacrifice, or self-denial. But the Buddha's teachings reveal a different path. Happiness and awakening arise from recognizing our true nature beyond effort or external validation. No one can take away your Buddha nature, your innate potential for peace, compassion, and wisdom. You don't need to prove yourself or meet any external standards to deserve happiness. Simply by being, you are complete and enough. Let go of the inner critic that whispers you're not worthy, too flawed, too ordinary, or too weak. Instead, rest in the awareness that your value is not tied to success or failure, but to your very existence and capacity to awaken. When you embrace this truth, the world reflects your newfound harmony. The universe responds not to striving or grasping, but to the energy of acceptance and openness. Moving forward with a heart free from grasping, with gratitude for the present moment, you create the conditions for true happiness and fulfillment to arise naturally. Each morning, gently remind yourself, I am worthy of joy and liberation, and I welcome both with an open heart. And if you are ready to deepen this practice, embrace the next simple yet transformative commitment. I choose gratitude over complaint. You will be surprised at the profound peace that follows this choice. Number 12. I choose gratitude instead of complaints. I choose gratitude instead of complaints. Each morning, as dawn gently breaks and the world stirs to life, you hold the power to decide how your day begins. You might focus on what's lacking, the unfinished tasks, the worries piling up, or you might consciously turn toward gratitude. Gratitude isn't about ignoring pain or pretending everything is perfect. It's a deliberate choice to notice the good that is already here, however small or simple, and to let it nourish your heart and mind. By choosing gratitude, you shift from a mindset of scarcity and limitation to one of abundance and possibility. You don't need to have it all to feel grateful. A warm breath, a quiet moment, a smile from a friend. These are miracles when viewed through the lens of appreciation. In making this choice, you reclaim control over your mind and your emotions. Complaining may be our natural reaction to discomfort, but gratitude requires courage and strength. It means actively deciding to rise above the noise of negativity. Consider Nick Vujicic, born without arms or legs, yet known worldwide for his uplifting spirit and message. He refused to be consumed by what he lacked. Instead, he embraced gratitude for the life he had, a resilient heart, a sharp mind, and the chance to inspire others. As Nick wisely said, I can choose to be bitter, or I can choose to be better. His gratitude transformed not just his own life, but the lives of millions. So tomorrow morning, when you stand before your reflection, remember that your attitude is your choice. Rather than grumble about Monday or any challenge, be thankful for the opportunity to live fully, to learn, to love, and to grow. Gratitude may not alter your circumstances immediately, but it will change the way you move through the world. And when you change, everything around you shifts too. Write in the comments, today I choose gratitude, and share one simple thing you're thankful for right now. Your words may be the light someone else needs today. Number 13. I am growing up every day. I am growing up every day. Growing up isn't a sudden transformation or a single defining moment. It's the accumulation of countless small, steady choices made again and again. Some mornings you might wake up feeling stuck, wondering if you've changed at all, if you've taken even one step forward. But growth is often silent and invisible. It could be choosing patience over anger, forgiving someone quietly to preserve your own peace, or taking simple steps like planning your day or caring for your health. These small acts add up, even if no one notices or applauds them. A friend once told me she wanted to give up because her progress felt invisible. Yet, a few months later, she realized she no longer feared rejection or got overwhelmed by minor setbacks. That calm strength, free from the need to prove yourself, is a sign of real maturity. Stoic wisdom reminds us, as Epictetus said, no great thing is created suddenly. True change takes time, and so does your growth. Each morning, don't wait for a miracle to transform your life. Instead, be the miracle by making better choices than the day before. When doubt or exhaustion creeps in, remind yourself, I am growing every day, and every step brings me closer to the best version of myself. As you walk this path, a deeper question will emerge. If I don't have to become anyone else to feel complete, am I already enough? We'll explore this freeing truth together in the final part of this journey. Number 14. I am complete myself. I am complete myself. In a world that constantly tells you to be more, more skilled, more attractive, more successful. It's easy to forget one profound truth. You are enough. Not someday, not after reaching some milestone, but right now, exactly as you are whole. I know there are mornings when you wake up feeling inadequate, scrolling through social media and comparing yourself to others who seem to have it all figured out. But what you don't see are their hidden struggles, their wounds, and the silent burdens they carry. Your journey isn't a competition, it's unique, and your worth isn't determined by others' approval or recognition. It's rooted in your courage to be authentic and true to yourself. I once talked to a friend who was a painter. She doubted her talent because her work didn't sell like others, and was ready to quit. But after reconnecting with why she painted, not to prove anything but to express her soul, she began to create from a place of love instead of fear. That's when her art started to resonate deeply with others. She didn't change to fit expectations. She grew stronger by embracing that she was already enough. So every morning, when you face the mirror, don't just seek flaws. Look deeply into your eyes and say, I am already whole. You don't have to fix yourself to be worthy of love. This wholeness isn't pride, it's profound acceptance. It means you can keep evolving and learning not from a place of lack, but from honoring who you already are. When you live from that place of completeness, the world responds. Not because you've become someone else, but because you've finally become fully yourself. And those are the powerful affirmations you can say to yourself every morning. Not just to kickstart a good day, but to slowly shape the life you truly want. Real change begins within, with the words you quietly choose to tell yourself each day. Thank you for listening and for being here with me. If this video has inspired you or added value to your life, please hit the like button, share it with the people you care about, and leave a comment below saying, I choose to live with intention. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next video.